cutting down trees.
We ban cutting down trees. We ban cutting down trees to live eco-friendly.
Live eco-friendly.
Live eco-friendly. Live eco-friendly. Let us live eco-friendly.
Stop cutting down trees.
Stop cutting down trees. Stop cutting down trees and live eco-friendly.
Live eco-friendly.
Live eco-friendly. Live eco-friendly. Let us live eco-friendly. Lord, listen to your children. Listen to our prayers. Listen to us, oh Lord.
These children from All Saints Cathedral Primary School in Nairobi opened ARC's meeting of African faith leaders in Kenya in mid-September. 27 Christian, Muslim and Hindu faith leaders from sub-Saharan Africa met to launch their long-term commitments of action to protect the environment. These faith leaders have over 184 million followers in 11 countries, from Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Cameroon, Ghana, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Sudan and South Africa. This is the first time African faith communities have come together to develop long-term plans for environmental action, with proposals to educate their imams and bishops, their school children and their faithful about caring for the planet. And doing that through their mosques, their temples and their churches, in their schools, madrasas and Sunday schools, and in their youth clubs and women's groups. And there's practical action being proposed too, from planting millions of trees, to teaching farming in schools, to training in sustainable land management. This is action and commitment on an unprecedented scale. So why work with the faiths? 90% of Africa's population describe themselves as either Christian or Muslim. And faith leaders are figures of huge influence and trust, often trusted where politicians, governments and military leaders are not. This was recognised by the speakers at our meeting in Nairobi at the All Africa Conference of Churches.
You have the trust. Indeed, you have the trust of more people than any other national or international organizations. And you have massive followers who are now joining hands to heal the wounds of the planet and improve the living conditions of people.
So what did the faith leaders gathered in Nairobi commit themselves to, and who do they speak for? There are 27 faith groups, all with different commitments. Each group has spent the last 18 months consulting with their own communities about what their commitments and proposals should be. They've talked to their youth groups, their teachers and women's associations, their bishops and their imams. They've spent time exploring what their holy books have to say about caring for the environment. Then they've planned what action they should take over the next 7 years, in their schools, their young people's clubs, in their churches, their monasteries, their mosques, and in their temples. In each case, their plan of action has been endorsed by the highest authority in their faith groups. Here are some examples of what some of the faith groups are proposing. Take Ethiopia. The Ethiopian Islamic Affairs Supreme Council is the central body of the Muslim community in Ethiopia. It speaks for around 27 million Muslims in Ethiopia. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church has 43.5 million followers, with 6.5 million children in Sunday schools and over 3,000 monasteries. Its plan has been drawn up by its Development and Interchurch Aid Commission. Several nunneries have recently installed biogas digesters to pilot this idea. The Evangelical Presbyterian Church of Ghana has 150,000 members, but it also works through the religious bodies network on climate change called Relbonnet in Ghana. Relbonnet brings together 13 mainline Protestant bodies, 3 main Muslim organisations and the Federation of Muslim Women. It reaches 5 million people in Ghana each week. The Uganda Muslim Supreme Council and the Uganda Muslim Women Association have supported this plan. The Uganda Muslim Supreme Council is an umbrella body for the 6 million Muslims in Uganda. This project to train women around key mosques in the Gomba district of central Uganda was launched last year.
My name is Hajjata Fuakawase Sebyala. I'm the project director of Gomba Women Environment Project. We started this project to try and save the environment because our people are not sensitized. They have cut down all the trees in Gomba, and the hills are bare because they don't know the use of the trees. They cut out a very big tree and plant beans, cassava, or whatever else because they are not aware of the use of trees in preserving the environment. Whereas when we are here to sensitize them, we advise them to practice intercropping so that they leave the trees and then plant the beans underneath the trees. They don't have to cut the trees because the environment is affected, the rains are not coming, we have prolonged drought. This is called Chitaka Gomba Mosque and it is part of a homestead, but it is a very busy mosque in that we have members from this mosque who are actually planting. The sheikh here is part of the project. He sensitizes the ladies to do the planting and also to look after the plants they have planted. They also look after the trees. They have gardens where they have planted beans, tomatoes, oranges, mangoes, pawpaws. They're also into chicken rearing and goat rearing, as we shall see. And it's a good base. It's green because people here really care about the environment. They got the message well and clear. Pulojekiti eno buli kyatugitandika tusobola okufunamu ssente ate nga n'okulya ndya ne kiba nga kinyaaba. Abaana bange basoma, abazzukulu basoma. Nyagange zena kajulijjali. Natandika n'embuzi emu ssebo. Kakati wenjogerera ndi mu mbuzi 4. Era tweyongera okumwebaza jati. Atukoledde atuwonyezza amazzi okugenda ku luzzi.
Project eno it protects the environment. Kati bw'ogenda we twasimba emiti egya.
The Methodist Church in Kenya has 3 million members. In May of this year, 25 faith leaders from the Methodist Church took part in training in Farming God's Way, which is conservation agriculture rooted in the faith basis of caring for the land. It's been shown to significantly increase crop yields. These bean plots, for example, were planted at the same time. The difference between the Farming God's Way plot and the conventional agriculture plot are clear. With such conservation agriculture, communities across Africa are beginning to reap the benefits of more food, more income, and a healthier land.
My name is Augustine Mwema. I serve with the Methodist Church in Kenya, and I'm happy about the training on Farming God's Way. In that it is a way we've trained people to understand what the Lord says about farming. And because we are Christians, that really resonates with us, and feel that we need to take care of creation. We need to take care of the way that we are farming, that it is a way that honors the Lord and glorifies Him. And with 24 of us trained in Farming God's Way, what do I think? That farming will be transformed across Kenya. That many people will learn to farm in a way that glorifies the Lord, and that our produce will increase. And more than that, that we will conserve our land, and it will be richer rather than more spent. Thank you.
The Northern Diocese of the Evangelical Lutheran Church of Tanzania has around 400,000 members in 152 parishes on the slopes of Mount Kilimanjaro. In the last year, 3 pilot women-led nurseries have been set up, providing training, employment, and much-needed income for local women.
At the beginning, it was very difficult to be understood. I remember I spoke even among some pastors, and they were saying, instead of preaching spiritual things, now he's talking about environment. What does it mean? I mean, they thought I would have, maybe I was out of maybe my senses.
God provided all kinds of grains and all kinds of fruits for us to eat. Grass and leafy plants for wild animals to eat. What a beautiful creation it was. Our environment, our livelihood.
Education for Sustainable Development takes a holistic approach to teaching on the environment. The toolkit uses eco-schools as a strategy for delivering faith-based environmental education. The eco-schools develop a range of practical activities. For example, Gobi School in Kenya is involved in growing vegetables in school gardens, rainwater harvesting, waste management, and biogas digesters. The toolkit is being developed for Kenyan primary schools initially, but the plan is to provide it as a blueprint that may be adapted by other countries in sub-Saharan Africa. It offers enormous potential for shaping the environmentally aware citizens of the future.
Our environment, our livelihood.
These plans and proposals are what the faith groups would like to do over the next 7 years. Much of it they'll do themselves, working through their members and their faith structures. But they also need help, such as technical expertise, training and resources. And that's why there's now such an unprecedented opportunity for partnership with secular groups.
I think one area where we in UNEP we are going on fact to improve is really to get closer to the faith group. I really realized just coming this morning that we could be more successful, we could be more relevant to the needs and aspirations of the countries. We could in fact have more impact in all African countries if we can work with you hand in hand. And I think this is one area definitely where I will make sure that I put it on top of my priorities.
So how could this go forward? There are a number of key themes which offer opportunities for partnership. There are 5 key areas our faith groups would like to focus on. Changing hearts and minds is about harnessing the faith's influence and their outreach in their communities. Leading by example places environmental action at the heart of faith, worship and activity. Shaping the future is about raising the next generation of environmentally aware and engaged young people. Restoring the land is about practical training in sustainable land and water management. And engaging women recognises the key role women play in faith groups and how they can be agents of change in caring for the environment. We now need to begin the process of partnership, a process which started at our meeting in Nairobi in September. This is partnership ready to happen. The faiths are ready with their existing structures, their organisations and their influence. They're now inviting secular partners to work with them to protect our shared environment.
In front of you are
Muslim Academy girls,
ready to present your qasida entitled
نور دربي.
We hope you enjoy. Shukran.
يا رب نور دربي يا رب اسعد قلبي يا مليكي يا رجائي يا جليلي وضيائي نور دربي يا رب نور دربي يا رب اسعد قلبي يا مليكي يا رجائي يا جليلي وضيائي نور دربي ليس لي حول فإني بك حولي وعليك بك حولي وعليك